So it's been a very eventful few days in the relationship between leading Democrats and Israel. Let's talk about all of this with tonight's big opening panel. From the left, we have Richard Roth, founder of the Roth Law Firm. And from the right, we have Kenneth Vecchio, a Republican strategist and attorney. Gentlemen, good to have you both with us.
Great to be here.
Absolutely.
All right. Richard, the president has been accused by many, including some in Israel, of dragging Israel into the fray with the Democrats. But all four of these congresswomen started making anti-Israel comments and attacks well before the president stepped into it. I mean, he was just reminding people of how hostile they've been against Israel. So let's be clear. Who brought Israel into this?
So I'll answer that question first. Israel was clearly brought into this initially by Donald Trump. They weren't even in office. They weren't even in office, these four, the Squad members, when in fact he essentially has accused the liberal Democrats of not liking Israel. It's a great political strategy. Now all of a sudden he's handed.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong in that accusation?
He is wrong on that as far as the Democrats go. He's right as far as a couple of fringe, if you will, liberal Democrats, their positions. And this squad, which is being called, which is somewhat of a derogatory term, but it's a squad, they're calling it that, are the fringe. And what Donald Trump is doing is he's trying to continue to paint the fight with the fringe to show how far up the Democrats
Biden
are.
And Buttigieg, Richard, referring to occupied territory. They're not the fringe. They're running for the Democratic candidate for president. They're not the fringe.
Let's talk about Joe Biden. Joe Biden has for pretty much his entire career, at least over 20 years, tried to bring peace into the Middle East, okay? So Joe Biden everyone has really walked, if you will, on the line where you're not inflaming anyone. Here's the problem.
Ken, we got 30 seconds before commercial. I just want to give you a quick thought on this.
Biden has made all kinds of comments that are anti-Israel, starting back in 2010 when he didn't want Jewish-built apartments in Jerusalem. All that said, these people, the squad, good, it's a derogatory term. They should have a derogatory name after them. They're hateful towards America, hateful towards Israel. They're socialist. Some of them want babies killed right before and after birth. These people are just nuts.
All right, well...
Babies killed on the left? I don't know about that.
That, I think, is a bit of an inflammatory term, but I know what you're talking about, late-term abortions.
Yes.
We're going to focus on Israel when we come back after the break. Once again, our top story tonight is the issue of Israel getting pushed into the dispute between President Trump and the so-called squad, namely four newly elected Democrats in Congress, made up of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Ayanna Pressley. Earlier today, President Trump noted the squad's anti-Semitic comments and anti-business record.
When I hear the statements that they've made, and in one case you have somebody that comes from Somalia, which is a failed government, a failed state, who left Somalia, who ultimately came here, and now is a congresswoman who's never happy, says horrible things about Israel, hates Jews, hates Jews. It's very simple. And if the Democrats want to wrap their bows around this group of four people, one of them kept Amazon out of New York, tens of thousands of jobs, would have been a great thing.
And President Trump is also declaring political victory over the Democrats because of their decision to defend the so-called squad. He tweeted this afternoon that the Dems are trying to distance themselves from the four progressives, but now they're forced to embrace them. That means they are endorsing socialism, hate of Israel, and the USA. Not good for the Democrats. All right, let's get back to our panel, Richard Roth and Ken Vecchio. Richard, Speaker Pelosi is urging House Democrats to now support a resolution to condemn President Trump for his tweet suggesting that these four congresswomen, and I quote, go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came. Democrats couldn't get a resolution condemning anti-Semitism. Is this a good move to push this resolution?
So here's what we're talking about. Everything and every move and every statement, including those of Donald Trump, are in anticipation of the election. Donald Trump has decided that it is a good fight, and I agree with him, to fight these four rookie congresswomen who are clearly to the left. He isn't fighting the Democrats. He tries to put them in the Democratic, if you will, norm, but they're not. So when
But
Donald
did
Trump
the
is
Democrats take the bait when they now say, let's pass a resolution supporting these four? Does it make them more mainstream if they didn't condemn them when they had a chance, and now they want to try and force a vote in support of them?
right. So what happens is we have Donald Trump with his supporters, and we have the Democrats with their supporters, and what they're trying to do is pull, if you will, from the other side. I don't think this is going to work.
Michelle,
All right,
it's
not going to work.
It makes the Democrats look really weak, especially in their leadership. You have AOC calling Pelosi basically a racist, and now she's kowtowing to them. If they're the face of the Democrat Party, Donald Trump is exactly
But Ken,
correct. They have a big problem.
Why did the president get involved? I mean, he could have just let them destroy themselves with their infighting. Was it a smart move for the president to now step into this?
Absolutely it is, because right now they are the true de facto leadership of the Democrat Party.
This is what I hear. They're the youngest Democrats.
Hold on a second. You had plenty
Not
of
the
time.
de facto leadership.
You had plenty of time
Which
to speak
committee
about
do
this.
they lead?
You had plenty of
Kenneth
time to
Go
speak
Go
about it.
ahead, Ken.
The mainstream media is painting the picture that they're the leadership. They themselves are painting the picture that they're the leadership. Trump's commentary about go back where you came from is very founded. If they don't like the United States, if they're not happy here, then somebody like Omar, who was born outside of the United States, go back to where you came from.
But why
somebody
does
like
he need to
AOC,
get
go back to the
involved when they're
Bronx.
self-destructing all by themselves, you could argue?
He can't help himself, Michelle.
Because of the
It's Donald
fact
Trump.
that we need to highlight the lunacy of
All right.
what these women are saying, and the fact that Trump is getting attacked by them. He has the right to defend himself
Well,
and hit back at the people who hit him.
Richard, the president is, just to be fair, pointing out what these people, what these four congresswomen have already said themselves. Now, one of the issues that the president has said is that Congresswoman Omar supports terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda, and she was asked about that in this afternoon's press conference. Let's watch.
You might have noticed how when he said, go back to where you came from, there was an uproar through all of our communities, because every single person who's brown and black at some point in their life in this country heard that. Now, when he made the comment, I know that every single Muslim who has lived in this country and across the world has heard that comment. And so I will not dignify it with an answer.
She will not dignify whether or not she supports Al-Qaeda with an answer. Ken?
I didn't hear
Hold
Al-Qaeda
on.
in that,
Wait
by
a
the
minute.
way. I didn't
When
hear
some-
Al-Qaeda in that.
When somebody
That was a question that was asked by the press conference earlier. The reporter's
what she was
audio was
responding
very low,
to.
but that was what she was responding to.
And-
You'll have to take our word for it,
I
but
take
the
your
audio
word
was
for
very
it.
low.
I'll always take your word
And
for
you, as a
Michelle.
great litigating attorney, and me, as a former judge and litigating attorney, I will tell you, when somebody says, I will not dignify that as an answer, that means that their answer is something terrible and bad. It means that they're trying to deny something. That woman is, in fact, an anti-Semitic, hateful individual, and she does not like Jewish people. She does not like the United States. She wants the United States to be a communist country, and she's frightening. And the words that Donald Trump has that are hitting her back are totally justified.
Michelle, I think you hit it on the head. You have I don't know how old Donald Trump is, 60-some-year-old, sophisticated, some would say successful businessman who's president of the United States, who's picking fights with 20-some-year-old former bartender.
No, they're
I
picking
don't know
fights
that
That's
with
what
him.
he's
Picking
doing. That's what
fights.
he's
They're
doing.
picking fights
He
with him.
should let them go. Donald Trump, the problem with that, one of the 1,000 problems with Donald Trump is he can't help himself. What he should do, he should let the Democrats
but ultimately,
fight among
Richard,
themselves.
now the Democrats have to defend themselves because they are put on the back foot with not being pro-Israel.
Not by Donald Trump.
And if they're not,
by
if they're
Donald
not the
Trump.
But
voice
is that
of
the
the
bigger
Donald Trump
issue?
should let themselves implode because you have four women whose combined age, at least three of them,
Forget the-
are
we're
probably.
not ageist on
it's
this
about
show. Age is
age is
irrelevant.
wisdom,
Age is
sophistication,
not age is not
knowledge,
relevant.
But if
experience.
they're
And
not-
my point is
if they're
Donald
not
Trump
the face of the
should
party-
let it go.
If they're not the
Let
face-
it go,
wait, if they're
Donald.
not the face of the
They're
party,
not the face of the party.
If they're not the face of
We're
the
gonna
party,
have to
then why
let
is
this
Pelosi backing
conversation
them?
go.
Between the four of them, they have less than a year of experience.
We are going to have to
the
let
four
this
of them have less
conversation
than
go
100
for now.
IQ.
We're out of time, but thank you. Vecchio, Richard Roth, appreciate the spirited debate as always.